negotiating. They don't need to go and shoot the whole deck if they can just take part of it and do the missile stuff that they're doing now and let it go for a couple of weeks and let it fall into the cycle that runs about every 6 years.
All right, let's go back to the Arab. 20% of Israel is Arab. They're all Israeli citizens, same rights, same voting. They have their own parties, which is tragic, but it's a fact. If we had a parliamentary system in the United States, there would be black parties, Hispanic parties, white parties. The parliamentary system has a lot of disadvantages, but that's a separate question. So what is going on here? What agitates Israeli Arabs?
Actually, Israeli Arabs don't feel that they have equal rights to Israelis. They feel that they've been neglected. They don't feel that they're taken in the workforce the same way, given the same rights. They feel that they're second-class citizens. Some of it is reality, some of it's not. But even if they think it's the reality, it's something that the Israeli politicians have neglected. You've only seen in recent years everyone scurrying to embrace the Arab vote and help the Arab societies, including Prime Minister Netanyahu. Well, Hamas obviously saw it for the taking, and what you've seen is Jew kill Arab, Arab kill Jew within Israel. You've also seen a fear factor that's really developed in mass in Israel. You're sensing it, speaking to people that are concerned about the future of the state. It's going to take a lot of money, and there's no budget now because we're headed maybe into a fifth election, possibly. We don't know where, that will end, but primarily people have to look at what is the cost of this. Not the war, because it's not even a war. It's a conflict that didn't really develop into a full-fledged war. But the reality is that is going to be the primary problem that everyone is going to have to figure out how to solve.
Well, generally, groups have a list of demands. What would be the top three of Israeli Arabs?
Equality in terms of education, I think, is number one, feeling that they will be able to go the next level in terms of workplace hiring them. I've seen even on a local level taxi drivers for part of a taxi group having to hire Israeli Arabs because they fought back and said, well, you're only Israelis that are being hired. And actually, it was brought to the attention in the media, and subsequently they ended up hiring Israeli Arabs. That's one example. I think it's an important example.
Wait, I didn't quite understand that. They were not being hired as taxi drivers?
They were not being hired in a particular company. And this company was made up.
Why? Were they just
You'd
bigots?
have to ask the owner of that company.
What do you suspect?
That maybe people felt comfortable with Israeli drivers and that's probably why. But every one of these individual businesses have their own reasons. In areas of defense, Israel will not hire Israeli Arabs for certain positions.
That's all right. Hold on with me. This is really important. It seems intractable, and I hope it is not. Go to themedialine.org. I'm Dennis Prager. We continue.